Sister Sis. I'm Jamie.
I'm Latoya.
I'm Calandra.
And guys, we want to thank you for joining us today because we did miss you very, very much, as always. And so we're going to go ahead and continue to go over those 4 truths, if that's okay with you,
Sure.
Mr. Tucker. Okay, Miss Toya.
So you mentioned what you leave behind is what you leave in the hearts of others. Can you explain that further?
Sure. So most of your audience, I'm going to assume, and probably all of you, do you remember Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Fred Rogers educated so many young people on his television show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, including me when I was growing up. 2003, Fred Rogers died, and his family was going through his effects, and they found his wallet. And inside his wallet was a scrap piece of paper on which Mr. Rogers had written 4 simple words: life is for service. And the fact that the 3 of you are nurses, I know you already know that because you serve, you give, and that. I think it's important for all of us, regardless of what stage of life we are in, to think about the end game of our lives. You know, what will people say about us at our funeral?
Right.
What do we want people to say about us at our funeral? We're all going to experience pain in our lives.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be, for me, cancer pain or anything. We could break up with our boyfriend or our girlfriend or get let go from our job, or the plane we're leaving on vacation gets canceled. Pain is inevitable. Suffering, on the other hand, suffering is optional. Suffering is what you do with that pain. Do you use it to make you a stronger and more determined individual?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you wallow in it and feel sorry for yourself? And I love the quote. There's an Ernest Hemingway quote, and I hope I'm not going to mess it up here. It goes, life breaks everyone, and afterwards, many are stronger at the broken places.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that quote. I absolutely love it. And when I found out I had these tumors in my lungs, and after I had my leg amputated, I went with my wife to the mortuary and to the cemetery and to the church, and I planned my funeral. And because I do podcasts like this and I speak to groups in person, I actually got some brushback from people who commented that somehow planning my funeral was in some way defeatist. And I had to tell these folks, last time I checked, we're all going to die. Don't think anybody's working on a cure for life right now. Everybody's going to die, but not everybody's going to live. And I'll end it with this. I heard a Native American Blackfoot proverb years ago that I absolutely love. And it goes like this: when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
That's so awesome.
Beautiful. And I say this all the time, like I was in an old country town, and it was an old country preacher. I was actually at a funeral who stated that a lot of people focus on like the day that a person is born and the day that they die, but that's not important. What's important is that hashtag that's in the middle. The 2 dates means really nothing, but that little hashtag that nobody pays attention to is really what the focus is. And that's what, like, in your personal life, don't focus on the day you were born, and nobody knows the day that when they're going to go, but you definitely can kind of control that hashtag. You know what I mean? And I see that in you. You're controlling that little hashtag in between your 2 dates. And I think that that's beautiful. I think that it's like so fulfilling, and it's like, wow, you know what I mean? It's like, and it seems like this is not new. Like, it seems like you've been this up jerk person probably since you were a teenager. Am I right?
I did a little growing up along the way, but yeah. I did. I mean, when I was first diagnosed, I absolutely know that I went through all the different stages that we would associate with grief. First it was, I can't possibly have cancer. I've done everything right in my life. And then I got mad. I can't possibly have cancer. I've done everything right in my life. And then there was a bargaining with God. Our daughter was in high school when I was diagnosed. It's like, hey, can I just live long enough to see her graduate? And then I absolutely got down. I got depressed. I felt sorry for myself. And then I got to a point where it was basically, this sucks, but I'm going to have to embrace the suck. I do not like the cards that I've been dealt, but I'm going to have to play these cards to the best of my ability. And that's what I've tried to do. I made a decision very early on. I was not going to take out my misfortune on a doctor, a nurse, a therapist, anybody that was trying to help me. And I'll give you a quick story. So every 3 weeks I go to the hospital to get infusion therapy Monday through Friday. And on Monday I get blood work. So I always end up opening the lab with this young lady. And I always ask, how was your weekend? What'd you do? And she said to me, you're always so nice to me. And I said to her, is that uncommon? I said, why shouldn't I be nice to you? Well, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about this, but she said, yeah. She said, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people who come up to check in for the labs and stuff like that, she said, are mean to her. And I asked, I said, do you know why that is? She was like, no. I said, it's because they're scared. It's because they're nervous. It's because they know they're going to have to be on chemo or have surgery or whatever it is that's going on in their mind. I said, what a tremendous opportunity you have to put goodness and kindness and love back into their lives, with the understanding that they're not lashing out at you as you, they're just lashing out at their circumstances. And you could tell she had never thought about it that way. What a gift she had to interact with all these scared, nervous, uncomfortable people and make their lives a little bit better just by the interaction that they had.
Right. Well, to bring things kind of all home though of the fourth truth, so the last one, which you kind of slightly touched on just a bit, I think it is, as long as you don't quit, you can never be defeated. So how can you kind of wrap that up for us, with yourself in your situation?
Sure. So the way I look at that is someday my pain is going to end. It may end through surgery. It may end through the development of some new type of medication. Quite frankly, it may end when I die. But if I quit, if I give up, if I give in to pain, then pain is always going to be a part of my life. And that's the way I look at that truth, that it's just, as long as I can keep going, as long as I can put one more foot in front of the other, then there's an opportunity to, maybe we're going to have a new cure. I mean, look at 11 and a half years ago, there was nothing for melanoma. Now, all of a sudden, I'm on a clinical trial drug now that does nothing to the cancer, but removes that enzyme, that protein that cancer secretes that hides it from your immune system, so that my own immune system can say, just like when you get a cold or a flu virus, hey, that doesn't belong here. We need to go attack that. So it's really my own body now that is helping me to fight this disease, not, chemotherapy or something like that.
Okay.
And you look so good, Mr. Terry Tucker. Like, if you didn't tell me that, we wouldn't know.
Well, if I stood up, I'd fall over. So, it kind of leaned.
Don't do that.
That's an amputation joke, which I.
So I tell you what. So you asked us about how we got started. So I'll kind of start it out, and then Calandra and Toya, y'all come in as y'all feel y'all need to. So first of all, we have been friends since we were 4 years old.
Okay.
We are 40 now. So that's a long time. So with that, throughout the years of our friendship, people have always asked us, how did y'all keep this friendship? How did that happen? I think in a lot of ways, we really don't know. It just did. The relationship started and it was just natural. But we have stuck together, and we have, through all, let me see, complications, satisfactions, unsatisfactions, arguments, fights, what else? Careers, schooling. I think we have just chose each other. We just have. So with that, I'll let Calandra go into her epiphany as she was on YouTube one day.
It was her idea.
They like to put me on the spot, and I think I'm the shyest one of all. So it's interesting that it was even my idea, which I think was kind of a part of it as well too. Just kind of wanting us to kind of come a little bit more out of our shell as well. I would say probably more me and Toya. Jamie is a little bit more outspoken than we are, but just overall, we thought that we come from backgrounds. Our backgrounds, we weren't just the privileged young ladies growing up. We really had to fight fight to get to where we are today. So what I really thought of, actually what happened was, let me kind of back up there just a little bit. I was actually on YouTube one day and I was kind of looking around, and I actually came across it wasn't a podcast, but it was one of Oprah's shows, but it was her and her best friend Gail. Of course, everybody knows Oprah and Gail, right? And so they were talking. I forget how long they said they've been friends. Everybody knows, of course, they've been friends forever. I don't think we got them beat, actually. But at any rate, so when I was listening into them, I actually texted them, and I kind of pitched the idea to them, because I was like, wouldn't it be kind of cool just to kind of inspire other people? Number one, just with our bond and our friendship and everything, how long we've been friends. Because most of the time we tell people that, they don't even believe us, but that's the honest truth. We've met in elementary school, and we've been kind of stuck together and bonded, ever since. So that kind of coupled along with, the things that we have been through, and just coming up and just growing up and just becoming the women that we are today. We wanted to inspire others and kind of bring that, that kind of empower other women, and not just women, I shouldn't say, women, men, whoever, it doesn't even matter, to be the best version of yourself, that God has created you to be. Yes.
So what made the three of you decide to become nurses? Who said, I'm going to be a nurse? And then did the rest of you fall say,
well,
yeah?
Actually, all of us, me, myself, I have a background. I was ill. I was ill at age 17. Still deal with it today with the illness. It has attacked other systems in my body, but like I say, neither here nor there. Like you say, my pain is not the focus. I definitely had, as Calandra said, had to fight to get to where I was. But Calandra was the one actually that vocalized, wanted to be a nurse. I just like taking care of people, period. I never vocalized, I want to be a nurse. But I think when I got out of high school and I started working, I did the college thing. I went all off to UT Austin, didn't do right because I didn't like it. I was missing home, ended up coming back home. And then that's when I went on ahead and started my journey into beginning to, do my more research on nursing. And then went on ahead and went to nursing school. But by that time, Calandra had already graduated and began the career. And so I think all of us, just one day we were all talking, and it ended up, we looked up and all three of us was nurses. I think that it just happened. I don't know if we were inviting off each other. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But vocally saying, I want to be a nurse, that was Calandra. She was the first one who stated that she wanted
birds of
to
a feather flock together, though. I think I think all of us probably got into nursing for different reasons,
Yeah.
like even me myself, sometimes, I think we all have moments where we kind of get down, but something that always normally keeps me going, it doesn't really necessarily tie directly into me nursing, because honestly I don't nurse at the bedside anymore, but I work too hard for those licenses. I would never lose them, but I don't do bedside care anymore, though. But I think I just have a serving heart. But something that keeps me going a lot of times, that I tell myself, I live, my life is not my own. I live to serve, to others. I live to serve God and others. So to me, I think that's what also, at that point when I was so young, when I became a nurse, honestly, I don't think I fully understood, what my purpose was in life. But now that I'm older, and I want to correct you, Miss Jamie, I am not 40, ma'am. I am 39. Let's get it together.
I'm not yet either. I'm not yet either.
I'm holding on to those last few days. I'm holding on. But that's something I think that really carried me over into, and actually into being a nurse. So I really enjoy, being a resource to others and serving and giving to others. So that's what really brought me into nursing.
And for me, I'm just naturally good with people. They feel comfortable with me. And somebody told me one day, they said, I think you would be a great nurse. So I was just like, why not?
And I think for me, I was in the hospital, like the first time the illness came, the first time I was in the hospital, which is crazy because I'm now working for the hospital that I was in. Okay. But the first time I was sick, that first hospital stay was about 6 months. So really I hated hospitals. Like every day I asked to go home. And so sometimes I get PTSD, certain alarms and systems and things that I hear. Sometimes the smell of alcohol can make me have a, you know what I mean? But it's something continues to draw me there. So when I began nursing school, my family kind of raised their eyebrow, like, are you sure? Because they're saying, this is how you act when you are in the hospital. When you're in the hospital, you do this, you do that, you do that. And I said, well, in this case, excuse me, I'm not the patient. you know, so I was able to, it's like I felt like it was more control. So I was able to do it like it wasn't nothing. And I actually stayed there for a minute. Now I'm not in bedside care anymore as well. I don't think any of us are. But I have went back into, I dibbled and dabbled in correction. So I kind of went back into that nature. So I'm still nursing, but it's not, you know, I'm not in the hospital, if that makes sense. So I've always had, I haven't left it. I haven't left the nursing field yet. I don't know. I guess it's something about it. As Calandra said, we all three of us have serving hearts. Like every time we do a podcast, we try to get volunteer opportunities. We're always trying to find. I don't know why it's so hard for us to find a lot of community service, but I think it's COVID. A lot of people. I was talking to my mom about it the other day, and I was telling her again that, you know, so we still kind of looking for things to do. And my mom was like, well, it's going to be hard because people are still abiding by, you know, COVID, you know, regulations, because, you know, it's still kind of rapid and going up and down, and people just don't want to take a chance. But when we can kind of serve and give, we jump on that. We jump on that and try to do that as much as possible.
So just out of curiosity, if you had to do it all over again, would you all go into nursing as well?
Yes, no doubt for me. Yes,
No
that got me on the career path that I am on.
Oh yeah, you're
so,
like,
so definitely, no doubt, no doubt.
Oh,
no
well,
doubt.
I know that's what I would do. Definitely, yes. Mm.
I
Healthcare,
might
period.
go a little different route. I might go a different route.
Yeah,
Only
okay.
because it's hard for me to turn it off when I get home. So it took a toll on me every day. Like I'll still come home worried about my patients, and that weighed on me so much
That's true.
because I'm so compassionate about people. So for me, I don't know if I would again. Like it's just hard for me to turn that off.
Understand. I mean, from a patient perspective, I think I've been so blessed to have the nurses that take care of me. I mean, they are like my friends. I mean, I hate going for infusion, you know, every 3 weeks.
Of course.
But I like going because I get to, you know, hey, how was your Thanksgiving? And what was your vacation like? And, you know, I've had nurses get married and have babies, and it's just, they include me in that. You know, it's like I'm a member of the family because I've been there for so long, practically, in that. But I'll just say, from a patient perspective, thank you all three for what you've done.
You're welcome. You are so welcome.
Well, we appreciate you. You sound like the perfect patient. Like I would love.
You're very inspiring. You are so.
Can I get that in writing? I can pass on to my. Hey, I'm not a perfect patient.
We've dealt with some interesting ones. We have.
Oh, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you got some great stories. You should write a book. Get together and write a book. You know?
I'm sure we could write a really good one. Speaking of a book, how can anybody find your book if they want to find your book? How do we find that?
Yeah, the book is called Sustainable Excellence. It's available anywhere you can get a book online: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple iBooks, wherever you get your books.
What about Audible? Is it on Audible?
Unfortunately, it's not. I needed to come up with $2,600 to do Audible because there's a certain quality of an audiobook that you have to have in order for Amazon to sell it and things like that. So you have to do it in the studio, and it's I don't have that kind of money. So it was like, so no.
That's the cheat code for me. That's how I normally read my books.
And it sounds time consuming.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
That sounds time consuming. The Audible, having to go
recording the book. Yes, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people hire, you know, voice actors and stuff like that to read their books and stuff like that. I would, you know, I'm cheap. I'd save money. I'd do it myself and things like that. You know, so, but yeah,
wrong with that.
There isn't. It's just interesting. You know, I've never published a book before, and things that, you know, books are published on Thursday. Don't ask me why, but books are published on Thursday. There's 800 books published in the United States every single day.
Interesting.
Think about that. I mean, now granted, some people write about, you know, taking the garbage out or walking their dog. So I mean, and those are included in that, but 800 books a day. So
that's
a lot of people write books.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you tell us where you were? I know you said you were born in Chicago, but where are you at now?
Denver.
Oh, you're in Denver. We are in Texas.
You're in where?
We're in
Texas.
Texas.
We're in Texas.
Yeah, okay. Well, we moved here from Houston.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
Right down the
okay,
street.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife got a job working there and we were there. That's where I was diagnosed. I ended up being treated at MD Anderson Cancer Center.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes,
That was
yes,
because
sir.
my
Yes,
cancer
sir.
was so rare. They're like, you should go there. I'm like, okay. So
Mhm.
Okay. You like Colorado? You know, the Texas weather versus Colorado. Do you like it?
it's interesting. So my wife is from Minnesota and I grew up in Chicago. And those Midwestern winters, where winter comes and it's gloomy and you don't see the sun for the entire season and all that. Colorado's interesting because like we could get 25 inches of snow today and tomorrow it'd be 50 degrees and sunny.
Really?
So there's a lot of sunshine during the winter here.
Yeah, no
Okay.
25 inches for me. Keep the 25 inches. Keep it.
You just stay inside when that happens. I don't go out and do that.
Oh
No,
my
thank you.
God. Oh my God. Mr. Tucker, did you have any more questions for us? I don't want to consume all of your day, even though I'm enjoying you so much. Don't want to let you go.
Thank you. No, I don't have any more questions. This has been a lot of fun for me. It's been great getting to know all three of you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on with you.
And thank you for
Thank
taking
you
the
so
time
much.
with us.
On.
You're welcome.
Well,
Until next time.
there is strength in sisterhood.
And supporting sisterhood. Bye.
Bye.